and Yvette, yeah, you and me. Here we go, here we go, here we go, 'cause we're doing it together. We couldn't get any better. We, yeah, you and me. Slow it down, everybody slow it down. Slow it down, everybody slow it down. Bow your crown, everybody to the ground. Everybody slow it down, everybody slow it down. Let it go, go, go. Go slow, everything's just one we know, so flow. Let it go, go, go. Go slow, everything's just one we know, so flow. We're all looking for something. From the time we enter, we're all looking for something until we're back to center. Are you looking for something? Is it not in this room? Are you looking for something? And does it feel like doom? Let it go, go, go. Go slow, everything's just one we know, so flow. Let it go, 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 go slow, everything's just one we know, so flow. You got to now breathe, surrender, breathe, surrender, that heart extender, and just breathe. Oh, you got to breathe, surrender, breathe, surrender, that heart extender, and just breathe. Now let it go, 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 go slow, everything's just one we know, so flow. Let it go, 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 go slow, everything's just one we know, so flow. Here we go. Slow it down, everybody slow it down. Slow it down, everybody slow it down. Bow your crown, everybody to the ground. Everybody slow it down, everybody slow it down. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. As we have Reverend Guy lighting the menorah in honor of our fourth day of Hanukkah today, right? Third day of Hanukkah. Oh, the middle one you do that. I see, yes.
Good morning, everybody.
Shalom. Absolutely.
Salam alaikum. Good morning. It's nice to see you all. Here we are, December 10th. And moving on in the holiday. Anyway, it's good to see you. I want to welcome the people in the virtual world. Hello, how are you? Here we are going on and all kinds of good stuff. So a couple announcements just before we get started. The first is Christmas Eve service. We will not be doing service Christmas Eve morning, which is the Sunday, the 24th. We will be doing it that evening. And we have special music. I'm very excited about that. And it should be a beautiful time to celebrate. So please include us in your Christmas Eve celebration. So that's going on. And then on New Year's Eve, Sunday, go back one. So then the 31st of, let's see, we're going to do the class or we're going to do the poetry reading? Steve? Sure. Okay, go back one. There we go. So, and maybe Lee, you can say something about this. So Lee is going to be supporting the music for the poetry reading with Craig, which was kind of an annual event that we love dearly. And then he's also going to be doing something right after service.
Yeah, so I've got my friend Heather Lynn from Colorado coming into town. And she was saying, what can we do together? Well, she's out here. And I thought, Craig's doing his poetry reading that Sunday morning, the 31st. And it's always a fun time, and I'm usually backing him up on the instrument when he's doing the poetry. I thought right after that, Heather Lynn come in, and we'll do a showcase together where she shares her music that's about healing and spirituality and all the positive thoughts. And then we're just going to go back and forth, and I'll play percussion with her. So it'll just be a bit of a love fest coming into the new year. So yeah, it'd be a nice way to bring it in.
Fabulous. I'm excited about that. So that's going on. Let's see. Paul, you still doing meditation on Wednesdays? Absolutely. Good. Good to see you, buddy. So that's happening on Wednesdays at 1:30 now? 12:30 now. 12:30 now. I think I can make it now. Fabulous. It's kind of been moving backwards in time. Okay, so 12:30 looks good. All right, so meditation on Wednesdays at 12:30. That's a good thing that's going on. Now, and then the other thing that I do want to announce is starting in January, I'm going to be teaching a class. I'll be teaching the same class, not really, but I mean, it'll be the same material, 2 different nights. On Tuesday nights, it will be on Zoom. And then on Wednesday nights, it will be live. We've just decided that instead of trying to do a hybrid, it's just easier to do Zoom. Zoom is a great platform. It works. It's a good way to run a class. Or live is a fabulous way to run a class. But trying to do the 2 just doesn't seem to... Anyway, so we're going to be doing that class. The class is called New Thought for the 21st Century. And I'm very excited about this class. I've taken an old curriculum and looked at it and said, yeah, this would have been really good for like 1920. So let's just change the numbers around and see what we can do with it. So I'm throwing in some swirly stuff here and there and everywhere. So it's a great introduction to New Thought. Its roots and kind of its vision for the future as I kind of see it. I love teaching, and I'm really excited about this class, so I hope you come join us. There's financial aid available. One of the things that we always say about classes is, your finances should not stand in the way. They should not stand in the way. So we always say this, whoever you are and wherever you are on your path, you are welcome here. Doesn't mean you get to stay, but you're welcome here now. So let's see what else I want to say. Jim, how's your class going?
Good, but next week will be the last one for the year.
Okay.
We'll pick it up in January.
Fabulous. Very good. Very good. Good to see you. Things going well. You've been busy.
Yeah, very busy sharing music, so that's fulfilling my purpose. So lovely. Played a celebration of life yesterday, which was really special.
Mm-hmm. And Laura, you look resplendent today.
Oh,
and how are things with you?
good, thank you. I have a loud enough voice. Thank you.
You can even turn it on.
I could.
And then they can hear you in Oregon and Washington.
Thank you. Yes, everything's going great. Did everybody see the Fallbrook Christmas parade?
One hand comes up.
It was kind of cold, but anyway, I had 50 people marching in the parade celebrating the Christmas season, and yay!
Great. We'll get those 50 people to march to the center some Sunday morning. So with that, anybody doing something in the world that's fabulous and important and exciting and that you'd like to share with us?
I don't know how exciting, but Thursday is the Toe Tapper show
That's exciting. That's a very cool show. And that is where?
at the Fallbrook Avenue Senior Center at 11:15 on Thursday.
Fabulous. Wonderful. Fabulous. Good.
Bob's our MC.
You got stickers. Oh, are those ornaments for orphans? Ornaments for orphans are in the gift shop. And it's a great way to support endeavors of people that are supporting people who could use it. and the gift shop's got all kinds of good... anything you want to say about the gift shop?
Just keep going.
Keep going. That's full of surprises. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is beautiful. I come in on Wednesday afternoons and I see Charlotte and Andrea always in the gift shop, always doing interesting things and beautiful things. And then on Sundays we have the three Graces are there: Sherry, Patty, and Noreen. Yes, thank you. I was going to get there to Noreen. Are in the gift shop, so it's a cool place to be. And let's see. I'm going to stop now and give the keys over to you.
Okay. I hope you join me in the Christmas mood, right? So, if it's your first time, welcome. I would like everyone to turn to a loved one next to you and welcome them to the morning. Say good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, that's Walter. Named after Walter Cronkite.
That's one of my favorite
Walter Dalton.
things to do is to greet everybody in the morning. And what a beautiful day it is. So let's get comfortable. I'd like to start out with a prayer. We used to call it prayer treatment because it heals as you say it. Let's take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Matthew 6:9, the metaphysical version. Our Father, our spiritual mother and father, the divine absolute, who art in heaven, within our state of consciousness, hallowed be thy name. We consciously acknowledge, accept, and believe that the creative source is all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent, and here now. Thy kingdom come. We awaken the state of consciousness within us. Thy will be done. We will thy co-creation on earth as it is in heaven, as below in the physical world, as above in consciousness, spirit, or quantum world. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us spiritually daily ideas, guidance, and wisdom. And forgive us our debts or trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive our lack of understanding as we forgive our thoughts, actions, and projections onto others and from others. Lead us not into temptation. And let us grow in knowledge of the untrained forces in the subconscious mind that lead us astray. But deliver us from evil. Empower us to let go of the negative thoughts and actions. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. It is the acknowledgement of the supreme love of the Almighty, divine, universal mind. And together we say, and so it is. I found a fun quote for everybody for the Christmas season. This is from Mother Teresa. It is Christmas every time you let God love others through you. Yes, it is Christmas every time you smile at your brother and offer him your hand. And now we move into a 3-minute contemplation. So let's ground ourselves with both feet on the ground. Sit up very tall so we have a straight, flowing posture for spirit to move through. And we're going to breathe 3 times, in with a deep breath and a long breath out. In with a deep breath and a long breath out. Spirit in and the old ways out. we are blessed, and so it is.
Reverend Guy asked me to learn this song in honor of the 43rd anniversary of this musical poet's passing. And it's a bit of a sing-along too.
And we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. Well, we all shine on everyone, on and on and on.
Sing that every time we get to that.
Instant karma's gonna get you, gonna knock you right on the head. You better get yourself together, pretty soon you're gonna be dead. What in the world you thinking now? What in of the love? What on earth you trying to do? It's up to you, yeah, you. And we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. Well, we all shine on everyone. Come on and on and on and on. Instant karma's gonna get you, gonna look you right in the face. Better get yourself together, darling. Join the human race. How in the world you gonna see? Laughing at fools like me. Who the hell do you think you are? A superstar? Well, yeah, you are. And we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. Well, we all shine on everyone. Come on and on and on and on. Instant karma's gonna get you, gonna knock you off your feet. Better recognize your brothers and sisters and everyone you meet. Why in the world are we here? Surely not to live in pain and fear. Why on earth are you there when you're everywhere? Come get your share. And we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. Will we all shine on everyone, on and on and one more time. Yeah, we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. Will we all shine on everyone, on and on and on and on.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
request.
Yes.
Reverend Guy, everybody. And Jim Jones in the percussion. Thanks, Jim.
Yes.
Always holding down that beat.
That was fabulous. So Lou, I was sitting in your living room when I texted Lee to do that song. Yes. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have had that vodka, but a little dissort. So I was at my lodge last night. We did an initiation, so I'm a little, not quite disorganized, but I am with my quotes here. So bear with me. So, and I don't want that. I want this here first. Fabulous, good. So, I want to get back into that song and just kind of breathe it in for a second. So, I thought of that song as I was thinking about this talk, and I was thinking about the historical Jesus in context to the roots of where he comes from. And one of the things that we know about the historic Jesus is that he was a man of his time, and he grew out of the prophetic tradition of his day. Just like you and I live from the prophetic traditions of our day. And it would be no stretch of the imagination to think of someone like John Lennon as a prophet. Because when I think of the prophets in the Hebrew Bible, like Isaiah and Ezekiel and Amos, they were kind of the rock stars of their day. They were these wild, crazy poets that said these things that just turned the status quo on its ear, and in most cases got them killed. A lot like John Lennon. And so you may be thinking to yourself, are you saying that John Lennon is right up there with the Hebrew Bible's prophets? Yeah, I am. I'm saying exactly that. Because prophecy is an ongoing experience, and it grows, it emerges out of the culture from whence it comes. And in that eternal voice that is the muse that is speaking through and as all creatures is always speaking to us in a language that if we have the ears to hear, we can get something. So what we know is one of the most important spiritual practices that we can do is to pay attention. So, I've been paying attention a lot this last couple weeks because, as you know, we're sort of doing an Advent, and I want to kind of qualify that as I can at the very beginning. So we are not, hey Walter, we are not a mainline Christian church. Not that there's an issue with them, but that's not who we are, just as far as what we embrace and how we embrace things. And for me, I am trying to find a path or a thread from my own history to this present moment that keeps me faithful or allows me to practice faithfulness on this journey. And I don't personally believe that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I don't have a Lord and Savior except the integrity of my own being. But like my friend Tripp Fuller says, I think Jesus of Nazareth is awesome. And I will continually go back to his teachings for light, for guidance, for healing, for consolation, for inspiration, for whatever, And so this series of talks has to do with trying to find that place where the historic Jesus intersects with the cosmic Christ. Because the consciousness of Christ, the anointed one, is a vocation that Jesus embraced. Jesus very possibly was, in my opinion, he is the Christ, but the Christ is bigger than him. It existed before him, it exists now, it continues to unfold in every way that it is. And I think a way to understand this for me, if I could share it, is to speak about what time means and the emergence of time. And in the ancient world, there were two terms for time. There was chronos, and chronos is that linear time frame. What happened yesterday and it's going to happen tomorrow, and what happened last year is, how it continues to fold out, and those things. And there's kairos, and kairos means the fulfillment of, or the right time, and how they kind of intersect. But I think it's important to kind of understand something at the get-go, and that is nothing in the physical world that we happen to live in is any way separate from time. it's interesting to me that it took up until the 19th century, for theologians and philosophers within the Christian tradition to even acknowledge that Jesus was Jewish. So that means St. Thomas Aquinas, St. Augustine, Luther, a raging anti-Semite, by the way, but all these people, the Jewishness of Jesus was never even considered. Imagine that. As if he just sort of appeared out of nowhere, and said what he said and moved on. And we lose the integrity, we lose the beauty, we lose the power of who he was. And so, one of the things that I'm swimming in these days is that friends and colleagues in some of the more swirly circles that I run in, where we play in the realm of times and seasons, years and cycles, are all we're in this conversation of, we are on the verge of some really big ideas that are coming in. And I'll bet you can kind of feel that something quietly is up. We're not quite sure what, but something. Do you guys feel that? I certainly do. But, where do we start with this? Well, we could start at the beginning, 13 billion and change billion years ago. There was this pinprick of energy that explodes billions and billions and billions and billions of miles and creating all this, but it expands out, it contracts, and it's this energy plasma that is so hot that it's known as the singularity, which means at the very beginning of whatever the heck happened, it defies the laws of physics as we understand them. It doesn't fit in to our idea. And in this expansion, there's these moments where some things begin to cool and other things don't. And so there's ripples, there's irregularities in this, flaws, if you would. It's no longer this uniform plasmic cosmic soup, but there's fluctuations that are beginning to happen over the span of billions of years. And the next thing you know, we have the periodic table of elements. And then on it goes, and then the next thing you know, there's stars. And from stars, there are solar systems. And from solar systems, there are planets. And then on this one little speck of a planet in this backwater galaxy amongst this whole thing, some sort of one-cell organism is there. And the next thing you know, it hooks up with another organism. And then there's some kind of being thing. And then the next thing you know, there's fungi and mold and plants and water and fish, animals of one form or another. And something Arthur Clarke calls stargazer, some kind of being that's kind of becoming aware of itself. Then there are tribes. Then there's these Bedouin tribes in the area that we call the Mideast. And then there's this tribe that has this experience of the divine in a certain special way, creates a culture around it, traveling and moving. And in this, they develop ideas, thoughts, a philosophy, if you will. And then, during an occupation from a foreign government, another ragtag prophet shows up who calls himself the Son of Man, the one who is human. And he begins to expound on the teachings of the prophets and of this idea, and he has this brilliant idea. What if we refer to the one that is the beginning of all things, and call it Abba, beloved parent. An innovative, interesting idea that kind of caught with his disciples, and then on and on. And in all this context, first century Palestine, there are three kind of ideas that we can play with. But what we're beginning to understand, what I want to offer to you, is this idea of this emergence of things. Simon Weil says this: only the light that continually falls from the sky provides a tree with the energy to sink roots deep into the earth. The tree is truly rooted in the sky. The tree is truly rooted in the sky because of that light from above. And so there's this deep interconnection of all things. But growing in the consciousness of what this historic Jesus would lived in, three things sort of helped define a first century Palestinian under the occupation of Rome. And the first one was that their land was occupied by a foreign land that was taxing them, that ruled them brutally, that practiced genocide and ethnic cleansing. Pax Romana, the peace of Rome, was peace through strength, peace through force. In other words, I have a big stick, and if you get out of line, I will beat you with it. And we call that peace. So that was on the mind of all people. The other thing that was on the mind of all people at that time was the cult of the temple, because the temple was a central place where people gathered and there was a sense of identity. And that sense of identity and that sense of relationship created a sense of peace. And then the third thing that I would offer that was part of this identity was this apocalyptic hope that somehow or another, this divine presence would set things right and correct what was wrong and free us from our bondage. So Jesus comes along and he addresses those things, but he doesn't address them in the way that people think. Now, those ideas continue to evolve. And so today, we could all ask ourselves, where am I in bondage? What holds sway over me? What limits my full expression? The other question we could ask ourselves is, where do I find peace? You know, what was interesting about Jesus is he looked at the building and he said, yeah, nice building. But that's not it. You know, God cannot be contained within space and time in a building, in a temple. You could tear that temple down and God would continue to exist. Now, the Pharisees understood that as well, because when Rome in the 70 CE finally practiced what they thought would be the final solution to Israel, they burned and sacked the temple. And so what existed was an idea beyond that. And what I would offer for each and every one of us, if we think that our peace has something to do with our bank account or our house or our car or this or that or whatever the case may be external from us, that's going to go. It's going to go one way or the other. One of the things my teacher used to say is, you know, Guy, everything someday ends up on a trash heap. Everything ends up on a trash heap. So what brings us peace? Maybe it is not from without, but from within. And where do we hope? What do we hope in? What is our hope? Hope is a funny word, is it not? Because it is really an act of defiance against the status quo. So in a real way, it's, as I'm talking to you, I'm sorry, I'm having my eyes down. I'll just stop what I'm doing here because I'm trying to find my next quotes, and I didn't write them down all nice and neatly like I normally do on Saturday nights, and now I'm having to fish around for them. So, but what gives us hope. You know, hope is not a Pollyanna kind of, oh, it's going to all be all good, it's perfect this, it's perfect that. No, it's not. What it is, it's the willingness, the faithfulness to hold a vision of possibility despite and in the face of everything that says no. Because what we're talking about here is the concept of an idea. And ideas are a powerful thought. Here we go. Ideas are powerful thoughts. In Greek, the word was eideos. And I'd like to do a little quote. It's a little bit long, but just to kind of explain what I'm meaning here. So James Hillman, in one of his books, Philosophical Intimations, in this wonderful essay I've been contemplating this week called, Is America Addicted to the Future? Or is the future, yeah, is America addicted to the future? But something that he says is this. He says, idea from the Greek eideos is both something seen as an independent phenomenon, a form, a shape, something envisioned, studied, contemplated as an object, and it is something that allows you to see and makes seeing possible. We see ideas as when we say, do you see what I'm saying? Meaning, did you get my idea? And we see by means of ideas. Ideas facilitate our ability to see differently from how we've seen before. In the ancient world, you know, they built statues to ideas. They embodied them. They referred to them as archai or archetypes, like justice, like peace, like love. These were big ideas, so big that they became archetypal principles. And so we could almost say that the teaching of Jesus, as it evolves into this idea of the cosmic Christ, is an idea. It is a lens. It is a way for us to see beyond. So something in this, I want to read another paragraph or two. Actually, it's a sentence, and it's a really long sentence. James Hillman does that. So he says this. So my first idea is that the greatest scarcity in the entire national enterprise today are ideas. Now, he's talking, I would expand that not just to one country, but maybe the global culture that we're living in today. So my first idea is that the greatest scarcity in the entire national enterprise, or in this entire global innovative that's happening today, is a scarcity of ideas. Radical, effective, imaginative, grand ideas. They have fallen into unconsciousness. Moral ideas like justice, honor, dignity, courage, tragedy, veracity, cosmological ideas like the proof of God's existence, the nature of the good and the good of nature, and the life of reason and the reason of life and the meaning of the public and the citizen and the city, the relationship between the arts and values, or why and for what we do, and what do we do as humans to exist. All of these grand ideas have fallen into the realm of the unconscious. And our ideas are more about growth and expansion and cleverness. And big ideas are wanting to emerge through us. Again, the ancient world would look at these like genius or muse, meaning they come to us. Have you had those moments in your life when you're sitting around, maybe you're looking at the sunset or walking on the beach or having a conversation with somebody or something's going on, and all of a sudden an idea comes to you? Wow. Here's the thing about ideas. You don't even have to believe them. What we do is, because of our utilitarian way of looking at things, is we try to take an idea and make it useful, plausible, workable. How do I fit it into this? How do I take this grand idea and fit it into the perception of my worldview and see if it'll work? Rather, perhaps the practice is to let the idea go off leash. Let it run, let it expound, see where it'll take you. It may take you into an enchanted land. Good for you. It may take you places that you were completely unprepared to go for. Even better. That's called emergence. Because you see, we are all products of our history. That is the container through which the idea emerges into us. And if we create the free space for this idea to emerge, it will teach us something new. So when we think in terms then of this idea of a cosmic Christ, what we're thinking about is not so much somebody or something that's going to come and save us or deliver us or do some kind of apocalyptic thing for us, right? But rather a concept, a way of looking at things, a way of being that creates the space for these other ideas to come in. And from that place, we begin to look at those situations. Where do I feel stuck? How do I feel like I'm in bondage? Where do I find peace? Where and how is my hope? What I would offer is that the teaching of this radical, homeless, Palestinian healer, teacher, who challenged the power of Rome, has something for each and every one of us to consider. What I would also hold as a possibility is what would happen if we took those ideas and put them into practice. Kurt Stockmeyer writes this in his Conspiracy of Love. At the heart of Christianity is a powerful ethic. It is what the first followers of Jesus called the way. A way of living based on love and compassion, reconciliation and forgiveness, inclusion and acceptance, peace and nonviolence, generosity and justice. The ethic is what makes Christianity good. Without it, Christians can become rigid and intolerant, self-righteous and condemning, hate-filled and violent, selfish and unjust. In other words, without the ethic of Jesus, Christians can represent the worst humanity has to offer. Gulp. The thing about it is, it's an equal opportunity ethic. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, a Jew, a Hindu, a Buddhist, you name it. Without the ethic of the teacher, we regress to a rigid place that does not allow ideas to break forth. And so my invitation then is for all of us to practice the ethic of inclusion, love, forgiveness, and generosity, not just to everyone else, and we should, but to ourselves. To create a place where a new idea, a new Christ is born in each and every one of us. In other words, instant karma is going to get you. Thank you.
Let's express some more together. We let love wash over us. We let it be. We let love wash over us. We let it be. We let hope. We let hope wash over us. We let it be. We let hope wash over us. We let life. We let life wash over us. We let it be. We let peace. We let peace wash over us. We let it be. We let love. We let love wash over us. We let it be. We let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. Wash over us. We let it be. You're beautiful. Apologies for the guitar being out of tune. That was, I think, Reverend Guy's talk was a little too hot.
Popovich, come on down.
I'm not going to use that. I can talk without. I'm not.
But they can't see you. They can't hear you on the virtual.
They can't. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, everybody can hear me. Hello, hello. I'm on. Guy asked me to say a few words, and he said to limit it to 90 seconds. Well, Guy knows I can't limit anything to 90 seconds. So he asked me to talk about why I'm here, why Ann and I are here. And we moved to this community, to Fallbrook, about 25 years ago. And we came to this, we found this little church called the First Church of Religious Science in Fallbrook. Kind of a strange name. And I've been thinking a lot about what attracted us here. And initially, it was a message. It was a message that he just gave now, 25 years later, a message of inclusion. It didn't matter what background you came from, whether you're a mainline Christian or whether you're of Jewish background or Muslim background, it didn't matter. This was a message of inclusion. That was originally what attracted us here. Now, what kept us here over this 25-year period? There's actually only two people here that were here then. Gary Richards, which sits in the back and does the collections on Sunday, was here. And Barbara Sayek, which was she seemed elderly at the time, but she's not here today, but she was the original flower girl, her and BK. Every Sunday they would come down the aisle and hand out flowers to us. And I said, wow, you know. So it was that message of inclusion. It was a fellowship, but there were many blessings over the years that we experienced. The blessings of the message that we would hear from Guy and other ministers that would talk. The blessings of the music ministry, of Frank and Vicki Alves and Spirit Hill, and Lee Coulter and Jim. The classes that we took, the blessings of classes and the message that we got from those classes. I went through a really difficult period here a few years ago. But Guy would say, and in the classes I learned, that you're not the conditions that you're experiencing. That's not who you are. And I'd get up in the morning, and every morning I'd repeat that to myself. It sustained me. The classes, the fellowship. But the main blessings I found, and I think Ann also, and I saw it in my wife on Saturdays and on Sundays here, was the message, the blessings of giving back. Saturday mornings, she would bake her cookies or bake her bundt cakes. And I'd see the joy that she had in baking those cookies and the bundt cakes and the various things that she would prepare. And on Sunday, I would see the blessings that she would receive from people who would acknowledge, wow, that cake was really good. And it was, it always is. So the main thing I'm trying to say is that the greatest joy and the greatest blessing that we can receive is by giving of our time, giving of our talent, being engaged in a community. And, you know, right now I'm the old guy who's going around fixing up the building. It gives me meaning. It's a blessing of doing something important, something beyond myself. So that's what I have to share with you, is I invite you to become engaged. Give of your time, give of your talent, give of your treasure, become engaged, and it will become your community for a long time. Thank you.
Beautiful. And by the way, if you'd like to join Mike in keeping this boat afloat, this building, just see him after service. I'm sure he'd be thrilled to have you come along with there. So anyway, so you want to bless the gifts? Okay.
All right, let's take our tithing, our love on paper, and hold it to our hearts. And know that we are blessed, whether we are giving or receiving. Spirit moves in wondrous ways, and especially through the flow and cycle and circle of abundance. This center is blessed because you are here. And we are grateful for all the gifts that life has to give us. And together we say, and so it is.
So before I go into the thanks and the benediction, I'll get you out of here just quickly. I just want to also say, because I forgot this at the very beginning of service, we have a board meeting. It'll be about 15 minutes after service. Our board meetings are open so that you can have an opportunity to see the governance of our community and what's going on and what's happening. So you're welcome to stick around. We'd love to have you. It'd be more fun if you're there. So please join us for our board meeting after service. Prayer circle. Yes, I'm going to get to prayer right now. So If you have in any way your heart has been touched please do not leave without the benefit of prayer. And there are a couple ways you can do that. You can, in about 5 or 10 minutes after service, Laura will, actually we've moved it down to the old teen room. We'll do prayer circle down there so that there's prayer circle for Laura. There is, you can fill out a prayer request in the narthex there. There's a place where you can fill them out. And we'll pray on them during the week. The practitioners get together. We have a Zoom meeting during the week, and we pray together. So there's that. Or you can see one of the other practitioners and just say, hey, will you pray with me? And the practitioners that are here today that will be happy to pray with you, I'm going to invite them up to the platform. Laura, of course, is here. Andrea is here. And Paul is here. Or Kurt is in the kitchen. You can ask him to pray, but you'll probably be doing dishes while you're praying with him. But that's nothing wrong with that, just saying. What else do I want to say? Yes, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Steve for making the soundboard. I want to say thank you for Kurt and Ann and the whole community in the kitchen. Yes, applaud them. Make them sound good. Thank you for the 3 graces in the gift shop, and thank you to Charlotte and Andrea for making it work so beautifully. I want to thank, Larry and Karen. Were greeters? Any other greeters today? And Noreen was greeting. Man, that girl's getting around. Good. And anyone else? Gary, thank you for always being consistent. And if I'm forgetting anybody, it is simply because Ann. I said Ann. I said Ann, man. She starts baking she starts baking on Saturday morning, and my little heart starts fluttering Saturday morning, going, I wonder what she's going to bring. So anyway, and all of you for being here. So Jim and Lee, of course. For those of you in the virtual world, thank you for watching and being part of our community. And with that, let us pray out. So again, last night I was getting ready to go to bed, and sometimes it's like, how do I even pray? Could you believe that I just said that? And then I thought, I pray to that divine presence that Jesus called Abba, that loving presence that lives in and through all things and is me. So I recognize that there is this one presence within the universe that is unrelenting love, that it is the life of all, that it is my life, that it is our life, and that it is forever luring us to emerge in our own personal kairos through the fulfillment, the uniqueness, the goodness that is each and every one of us. And so today, may we be surprised, may we be amazed, may we be a container for a big idea. And may we have the courage to take its leash off, to let it roam, and see where it leads us. And we give thanks. We let it be. So it is.
So James Higgins is going to join us for Christmas Eve. So I thought I was going to play this as a little Christmas song of my own right now. It's a classic. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little
Christmas now.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Have a great week. See you next week. Much love. Thanks, Jim. Always a pleasure. So fun.